Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm going to just be doing a little bit of coverage on this Deadlock update we had a few days ago. Mainly, the update had to do with the map and the item shop. So, a lot of builds have changed drastically. You're gonna have to keep that in mind if you're just now coming back to the game, because I'm sure a lot of people taking a break from Deadlock and will revisit upon updates. So, expect to have to really try to understand the do system as we go ahead. What I've noticed is that early game healing items are amazing, and late game burst damage is going to dominate the field. Uh, right now in the current meta, tick heroes that do dot damage or damage over time, those heroes are seeming to suffer a little bit because healing seems to be so strong, and bursting being so necessary, but a lot of characters have burst potential if you know how to use them right. Even a dynamo can do burst if they know what they're doing. I don't really use quick buy or anything like that, so that those of you that do, here you are. The base changes are very important. Also, the souls from minions are changed drastically as well. Again, feel free to pause this video at any time you'd like if you want to get a better idea what's going on here. I'm more than happy to scroll through this entire list for you here. As far as reading it all, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm sorry. Malicious, we increase size of doorways. Valve is really good about telling you every little nuanced change. They are amazing at that. So if you really do want to meta game and learn as much as you can and be ready for the next game of Deadlock that you play, reading their update logs is going to be dramatically important for you. Here's the soul orb mechanic changes. They seem to come out more consistently, I've noticed. They start off faded and then hittable, but apparently they no longer are automatically claimed with colliding on the world geometry. So that's a change that you need to consider. It's a big change. It's really surprising how many changes this update had. There's also, I think, a wall sliding feature. I'm not sure where it might mention it, but when you're sliding down a wall surface, it seems to slow down your character slightly as you're sliding. So that can be a factor in gameplay going forward, especially if you're a high mobility character like a Lash or Grey Talon. Although Grey Talon's not that high mobility, but they can be fast. The flex slots and the amount of items, have changed. I think I covered that at the very beginning, but I'm not too sure. The amount of item slots has gone down, and the amount of the way that the items give you passive benefits has changed dramatically as well. I'll be sure to show you a few different things at the very end of the video, like the item shop very quickly, and then the base redesign, because the base redesign is pretty important. Also, the way soul splitting has changed. I believe it is 60% when there's two people in a lane, as opposed to whatever it was before. I don't remember exactly, but you get a benefit from staying in your lane. Lane souls are becoming very much necessary if you want to remain viable late game and make sure you're keeping pace with everyone's soul farm. Going into the jungle is very rarely done unless you can do it quickly. Jungle farm is not where it's at, if you ask me. personally. Again, I'm scrolling through this. You can stop at any time you like, but I would really recommend if you're gonna read the list rather, that you would do that. Do that. Go read the list. Items now show spirit scaling. Okay, we got some of this, we got some of that. But, you know, happy to scroll through the whole thing here. McGinnis got a redesign as far as their character model looks, and it looks very good. I have noticed recently sometimes animations have been breaking, so keep that in mind. It's a little bit finicky, but Deadlock is still early, and we have to remember just how much this game is changing. It is going to change. Trying to find a consistent meta or consistent anything right now is going to be really up in the air. So I'd recommend if you're going to play it, try to play for fun. I know it's hard to do. Deadlock can be a very stressful game, especially if your team is losing. That can cause a lot of problems, but just hang in there and try to stay positive. I know. This change hurt me the most. I play a lot of 7 in the static charge that can no longer be stealth cast. Woof, man, I felt that every time I was trying to self cast for the rejuvenator coming down. You would self cast static charge on 7 and try and time it for anyone that tried to contest you on the rejuvenator, but now you can't do that. That sucks. That was a rough one, but Abrams, as you can see, I'll go back up for a second. Where was he? There's McGinnis. Just changes. You see how much they change with McGinnis, so be ready if you want to play McGinnis, or if you don't like McGinnis or something. Where was Abrams again? Where's my ball? Where's my Abrams? Okay, safe in life. Yeah, so a lot of changes to Abrams as well. Oh, Bebop has a little bit of a problem right now. It's probably going to change, but his hook is, if you remember from Overwatch, how much problem they had with Roadhog's hook and it latching, and making a jump to people when unexpectedly. It's mainly a visual problem. You just have to learn the way the hook behaves and stuff, but it does not feel good at all when you're getting hooked by Bebop right now. At least just what I've noticed. I've had a lot of teammates go crazy about that one. Just remember the rule. My rule with Bebop is unless you're going to kill him, you don't want to be looking at him, You want to have a wall in between you and the Bebop, unless you're gonna be killing him. Because that deposition really mess you up. I haven't actually been using reactive barrier. I'm not even sure if reactive barrier's in the game anymore. So I'm gonna have to look at the shop and show you guys that as well. This is a learning educational moment for me too, because you know how it is. It's a fun game to play, but as far as learning the meta, man, that is difficult stuff. So I'm trying to inspire myself and you to really try and learn what is going on with these updates and see how the game is changing. Because I've had a lot of games recently where my teammates weren't not ready for these updates, to say the least. Oh, look, you can upload it. And add a discuss. Look at this. Goodness gracious. It only has 343 in this discussion down here. That is wild to think about. People need to read these more often. Okay, well, there's that. Hopefully I've inspired you to go take a look at it on your own personally. But now we're getting into the item shop, and this is the big one. If you've not seen this before, man, this is gonna really change your perspective on things. As you can see, a lot of the way the items, it might be better for me to go into an actual game here, because it's not showing me the little side here that it will show you. Let me go into a hero testing. Yeah.
With these hands,
Take
I will
7.
destroy.
I need to turn it down a little bit. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, so here we go. You can see over the very left hand, it's gonna be down here, weapon investments. Instead of doing it and showing it up here in the items themselves, the way they would contribute to, say, a spirit item with, say, it would give you spirit power, like in a way that's scaled. Now that investment is going to be over here. It's changed a little bit, but it's pretty much still fundamentally the same. So, at certain amounts of investments, which is going to be monetarily, that is going to show how much spirit benefit you're going to get. So, getting up to those higher numbers is going to take like 20,000.8k souls to get that plus 65% to your spirit. Boundless Spirit has changed drastically. Look at what it does now compared to what it did before. The items themselves don't look the same. They don't feel the same. They're very different. So it's important to really look through all of that and to see what these changes are doing to you and your game and the way it's handled. Some of the notable items I've really liked are these Trophy Collector. So it's a stackable item that goes up to 14 stacks. Whenever you get an assist or a kill, it grants you extra health, spirit, ability range, and passive soul generation, which is insane to think about. Now, if you're having trouble, if you're a player that has trouble with farming, this is something that will help you. And how many souls? It was like, yeah, 20 souls a minute. It's not much, really, genuinely speaking. But I'm not sure if the 20 souls per minute stacks, but if it does, it would be what, like 280? Something around that? Souls per minute? If you get 14 stacks? I mean, it makes sense for that to stack, but then, you get the bonus health, sprint speed, and ability range, which is... I think Trophy Collector is a very good casting item. If you don't plan on it, if you're playing a 7 the way I do at least, I'll start out with extra regen. I'll get Trophy Collector. But I normally would probably get Spirit Lifesteal first, Healbane, late game for Healbane. And what else do we have? Leech. Here's the changes to Leech, because Leech is a big item, so you should probably look at that one. We do have Divine Barrier, but it's really changed positions a lot. Now we have, instead of dividing the barriers, they've been coalesced into one. So instead of having a spirit shield and a bullet shield, now you have a combined barriers that get applied to your characters. See, like even here, the weapon shielding, gain a barrier whenever you take significant weapon damage from an enemy hero in a small time frame. And the spirit, gain a barrier whenever you take significant spirit damage from an enemy hero in a small time frame, which is 400 and another 400. So they just react differently to the type of incoming damage. And it even tells you the damage threshold. The one for the spirit damage is pretty low, surprisingly. I wonder how these do interact, though. For instance, if you were to get hit with let's say you had 150 health exactly. You got hit with a Grey Talon Owl. Would the barrier save you? I don't know. That might be something to check. I've thought about a few times doing some kind of deadlock testing to see these interactions, but again, the game is changing so rapidly, it's going to be really hard to keep up with that. Here's Mystic Slow. But Mystic Slow actually upgrades into something called Lightning Scroll now, which is kind of wild to think about. So your ultimate ability applies a stun. After doing 150 damage, it will do a brief 75-second stun on any enemy hit by it. Spear burns a lot of crazy stuff too. Increases your ability to range. From my perspective, I use a lot of 7, so these are great items for me. Here's where Echo Shard is. You're not buying Echo Shard early anymore. I mean, you could try, but I don't think that it's gonna be in the meta. You'd be using that, unless maybe you're a Bebop, but I couldn't tell you. Here's the theory of shift.
Remember to upgrade my gear.
Surge of Power is a great. We had it before, and now it is back again, and it is, in my opinion, one of the best for characters that, you know, buff their shooting potential, you know, like Wraith or 7, this, that, and the other. Maybe even a McGinnis could potentially use that. But probably not, honestly. What am I saying? I don't know. Hard to say. Plate armor. We got Vampiric Burst. Witchmail. Which is a weird one. So, taking heavy hits of spirit damage from an enemy reduces a random ability cooldown by 3 seconds. That is a very weird one, in my opinion. I've not bought with Witchmail yet, but it might be really cool. And it's got a 1 second cooldown too. So if you're staying in fights for a long period of time, maybe this would be good on an Abrams. It's hard to say. It's very strange that it's random that way though. It could be interesting to use it. Unstoppable. Here's Unstoppable. I'm just trying to show you the important ones. Healing Tempo's new. Applying heal to yourself or an ally grants the target bonus fire rate and bonus movement speed. Okay. Cheat Death is a very funny one too. I've yet to use this one, but it's kind of cool. So when you would take lethal damage, you instead become temporarily death immune. While death immune, you deal reduced damage, have reduced healing, and move slower. But it could save your life, I suppose. I just don't... I can't imagine many people using that particular. Such a weird one for such a massive investment. And 4 seconds of immunity. Maybe you prepared that with like a magic carpet or something along those lines. Yeah, if you were to do a cheat death and then like magic carpet or something, I don't know if that would help, to be honest. But it could save you if you're really trying to carry late game. Burst fire. And man, I love the new art. I would really love to see what you guys think about all this. If you leave a comment and let me know what you think, just let it. Slay. Fleetfoot. Weakening headshot. Crippling headshot. Spiritual overflow is something I've been needing to get, but I just forget to get it all the time. So you gain bonus fire rate and spirit power by charging up when shooting enemy heroes. That's been in the game for a while. Bullets have a chance to do power causing lucky shot. We got ricochet, we got shadow weave, and glass cannon. Weighted shots is a weird one I saw. I'm not sure if that was in before this update because I never used it if it was, but here's what it looks like too. You can see all the investment over on the side, and you can imagine just how much you need to really focus on one of these, like one of these categories. Either going into weapon damage, healing, or spirit damage. The investments you get back from buying the higher tier items in each one of those, it might be worth really looking into which ones are going to scale the best. Extra spirit, for example, will scale all the way up to the top. Whereas like greater expansion might be a trap. I don't know a lot of people that would be good at using greater expansion. I don't know what it's for. It seems like it's a mid-game item that, for people that want to try and finish games early. I just don't understand the purpose of not getting things that are going to scale all the way. And now you can see that there are a lot more item pairing. I should have said this earlier, but a lot more options to scale items all the way up. And as I say that, it doesn't actually look like there's that many, but Quicksilver Reload will go all the way up from
Patrons give
1,600
freely.
all the way up to 6,400. Magic Carpet does not, Mystic Slow does, so you might want to start thinking about builds. If a lot of you games go into late game, which is about the 40 to 50 minute mark, because Deadlock games can be long. If a lot of your games are going into those late game phases, you're gonna have to consider on what items that can give you the most scaling, the most late game damage, or the most late game survivability, depending on your hero. Okay, anyway, that's a little bit of the Deadlock update. I hope you guys are having fun. I would love to see what you guys are up to and how you guys are playing the game, enjoying it, this, that, and the other. And I hope you have a great day.